Say hello to Frank. Brenda picked up the morning newspaper and studied the picture on the front page. A well-known couple had just announced their engagement. The man was shorter than his future wife, fatter and older and richer, according to the column underneath the portrait. How unsuitable for him to pose for a formal shot in shirt sleeves and plaid suspenders. She carried the Times to the breakfast table and continued reading while she ate a bowl of wheat puffs. "This stuff tastes like cardboard," she said out loud. The coffee was bitter and too strong. She opened the screen door to yell out at her mother, who was squatting in the middle of her vegetable garden. "This darn coffee tastes like battery acid." Her mother didn't look up. "Are you in the habit of drinking battery acid?" "Yesterday it was the eggs. Last time you were here, you yammered all week about the well water." Brenda took her coffee and the newspaper to the porch. She let the door slam. It didn't make enough noise to satisfy her, so she opened it all the way and kicked hard. There. That was better. On the front porch, she rocked back and forth with her feet to make the squeaking sound which always made her mother shudder. Tiring of that game after a few minutes, she looked at the picture again. The bride-to-be didn't look old enough to get married. She held the newspaper inches from her face. "Ma, come and look at this picture with serious acne. Did you see this newspaper picture?" Her mother pulled out a weed as she shouted back. She ought to be grateful some poor sucker is willing to marry her. Brenda opened the door again. "She's probably good in bed." "Hold your tongue, young lady, or I'll come up there and yank it out." "I dare you to try," Brenda said, but she didn't let the door slam as she went back inside to get another cup of coffee. Back on the porch, Brenda continued reading. The bride and groom are being married at the palatial home of Frank Sinatra in Palm Springs sometime next month, the article said. They haven't decided where to honeymoon, but a source close to the couple says he thinks it will be on the French Riviera. The French Riviera? Brenda laughed, but when Brenda laughed, it sounded more like a snore than anything gleeful. "I'll bet her hair is bleach," she said aloud again so her mother could hear. "It sure doesn't look real. In fact, she doesn't look real." Brenda took a strand of her own blonde hair and curled it around her index finger. "Hey, Ma, would you like to honeymoon in Europe?" No answer. "I'd like to go to Siberia myself. Cuddling would take on a whole new meaning. And don't you forget it either," her mother said. "Yeah, Siberia. Or Wyoming. Someplace cold. Someplace where a person could be buried in the snow and never be found again." She raised her voice again. "Says that groom knows Frank Sinatra. Must be Italian." "Yep. It says here his name is Fingers Marchetti. Should be Sticky Fingers." "Do you wish I were marrying a rich Italian who knows Frank Sinatra?" No answer. Brenda stuck out her tongue, but her mother was bent over, digging in the ground. "All my life," Brenda was thinking, "all my short, pitiful, belly-aching life, she's been working in that garden. Except when she was harping at me, saying, 'It's just as easy to fall in love with a rich man as a poor man.' How would she know? She wasn't ever in love with anyone, as far as Brenda knew." Brenda called to her again. "I'm going to be leaving soon. Are you going to come up to the house and say goodbye, old woman?" The old woman part was under her breath. Just then a long black limousine pulled into the yard. A man in plaid suspenders rolled down the window. Brenda picked up her soft-sided suitcase, went to the car, and got in to sit next to him. The car pulled away. Without looking up, her mother waved and said in a whisper, "Goodbye, Mrs. Marchetti. Say hello to Frank for me."